Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I hope everyone has done the chanting of 108 times of Hare Krishna Mahamantra with Srila Prabhupada. Actually,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I'm muted, Mataji.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was speaking and I didn't know I was speaking. Okay. So I was telling that I hope everyone would have chanted 108 times of Hare Krishna Mahamantra with Srila Prabhupada. So this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a way by which we get connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And it is recommended that if we chant in congregation, with group of devotees, and that in association of senior Vaishnavas, with senior devotees, then our chanting is way more beneficial, because that time it is very, very attentive and very, very focused. So when we are chanting with Srila Prabhupada, and as we know that Srila Prabhupada is pure devotee of the Lord, that time the chanting gets many-fold more attentive. So it's very nice that you all joined earlier and you all chanted with Srila Prabhupada. Now we will start the session with the Kirtan. Small Kirtan we will have, and then we will start the class of Bhakti Sadachar. So everyone is ready? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Radhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Ranjana Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna 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 Okay, so we'll start with the Mangla Charan. So as I have already told that Mangla Charan are the auspicious prayers, are the prayers which we offer to our Acharyas and Krishna and Srimati Radharani and all the senior Vaishnavas, so that by their mercy we can understand, we can speak and we can understand the transcendental topics related to Krishna consciousness. Actually, we are all material. And we all, because we have always used our senses in just gratifying ourselves in material things, we have just forgotten our real identity, that we are spiritual. And because of that, it has become very difficult for us to understand the spiritual subject matters. But when we invoke mercy, when we ask for mercy from our superiors, our acharyas, Panchatattva, Radha and Krishna, then because of their mercy, we are able to understand the transcendental topics about Radha and Krishna. Actually, all of the classes which we are having It may be Bhagavad Gita class, it may be Vaishnav Sadachar class, it may be Ekadashi special class, like whatever classes we may be having, but the ultimate goal is to reach Radha and Krishna, is to develop love and devotion, is to develop sense of service for Radha and Krishna. Now, because we are so very contaminated, it is very difficult to understand those topics. But that's why these prayers are very, very important. And in today's class, if we will be able to cover, I will tell you also the importance of these prayers again. So I'll chant these prayers. Those who have Bhagavad Gita, it is there in the introduction part. So you can open that and chant along with me also. But everyone should be muted because otherwise it will be very hassle and bustle. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamiram Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanatamansha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swamini Iti Namine. Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Namadaya Nagar Gramadhikarine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnyavadi Pashitya Deshatarine. Kathyanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat. Shri Chaitanya namami tamukham karoti vachala pangum langhari hire vipatamam vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om. I pray that right words can come from my mouth at right time in the right mood for the purification of myself and for the glorification of Krishna and for the benefit of everyone. So with this, we will start the second session. Actually, it is session 3, but it is lesson second. In first and second session, we had just covered the lesson 1. So today we will be starting with the lesson 2. And that is basically the start of the Bhakti Sadachar, because till now we were discussing about the principles. So now we will be discussing with the first lesson, which is Vaishnav etiquette in the formal venues. So what all we will be discussing, actually, first of all, the PPT has Srila Prabhupada's picture, because it is only by the grace of Srila Prabhupada that we are able to know all this and we are able to discuss all this. And whatever we are discussing also is based just on Srila Prabhupada's teachings, because Srila Prabhupada has presented all these scriptures in such a beautiful way for our little minute mind to understand all those big magnanimous topics. So first of all, we should offer our obeisances and we should seek blessings from Srila Prabhupada. So here is the picture of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So in today's session, which is the topic is Vaishnav etiquette in formal venues, we will be discussing several topics. Like first is what are the different types of pranams. Like we know, right, that whenever we go to temple, we offer pranam. We offer Danvat Pranam or Ashtang, Shashtang Pranam, Panchang Pranam, there is Mudra Pranam. So there are different kinds of Pranam. We have just heard of, or maybe we may not also have heard of. Maybe we have seen of, but we don't know the significance. Maybe we are doing, but we don't know how to do nicely, how to do properly, how to do in a proper move. So all those details we will be studying in the first part of this lesson, which is about the Pranam. Second part of the lesson is about temple etiquettes. Temple etiquettes, like although we may be going to the temple, although we may be knowing about some rules, but what are the proper rules, how to apply properly, we may not be knowing. So we'll discuss those in details. Then there is the third section about pariprashni, how to make submissive inquiries whenever we are going to a temple. And and the fourth one is the Vaishnav culture in receiving guests. So that is a very, very, very important topic because because we are Indians, most of us, I hope, and because we are, or even if we are not Indians, we are born in a family where we have seen people respecting God, or offering obeisances or whatever, offering prayers and worshipping God. But it is very less number of people who generally know how to deal with the Vaishnavas, how to receive guests, how to receive Vaishnava guests, or how to deal with them. So that will be the last part of this lesson. So this lesson is divided into 4 parts. First is the pranamas. We will learn how to do proper pranam, proper mood of pranam. Second is the temple etiquettes. Third is the pariprashnina, where we will learn what is the proper mood of inquiring. And fourth is the receiving, what are the etiquettes to be followed while receiving Vaishnavas. Okay. So we will start with a very beautiful quote from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adikanta. So I want someone to read this. 1 minute. Can anyone read this?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
He sees the degree of devotion. At the time of offering obeisances to Lord Vinu, a foolish person chants Vinaya Namahu. That is improper due to faulty grammar. And a learned Hare Krishna Mataji.
Vishnu, sorry, because आ रही है अच्छे से माता जी, वो विष्णु है, वो बस वैसे लिखा हुआ है, तो वो विष्णु है, विष्णवे है.
हाँ, sorry. This is improper due to faulty grammar, and a learned person chants Vishnave Namahu, right?
Yeah.
This is the correct form. But both achieve equal pity by their offerings of obeisances, because Lord Sri Janardana sees the sentiment of the living being. In other words, he sees the degree of devotion, or in other words, he awards the result accordingly. He does not see one's foolishness or intelligence.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for it. So here it is mentioned one of the qualities of Krishna, where he is said Krishna is known as Bhavagati. What does it mean? Bhava means the Bhava, which we are. Bhava means the internal devotion which we have. That is Bhava. So it's the Bhava. Krishna doesn't accept the outward things. To Vishnu. Obeisances means to Vishnu. Sometimes a person is having a fault grammar, you may chant it as like Vishnai Nama, Vishnai. But a learned person may will chant it as a Vishnave Nama.
Hare Krishna Mataji, your voice is getting cut, Mataji. People are finding it difficult to hear you. Mataji, sorry to interrupt, your voice is getting cut.
Is it? Hare Krishna, is it better now?
Yes, much better.
No.
Hello? Mataji, can you hear me? Hello? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, your voice is cracking. No, Mataji.
Now also it is cracking.
Can you speak something more, Mataji? So
If it works, then again I will change the network.
okay, this is. Let's try this one.
So yeah, so the example is given is a foolish person Namaha, but a learned person will chant it as Vishnave Namaha. But Krishna, he gives the result of the chanting equal to both of them if devotion, because Krishna sees the devotion behind. Krishna, like outwardly we may be doing something, but the main thing, like outward is an envelope. The main is the content in the envelope, and that content is the devotion with which we are offering to Krishna. So I just remembered one pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I would like to share with you all. So once what happened when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on a round of South India, and he was traveling and he was preaching the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He was taking the Sankirtan party, and doing Sankirtan, he was visiting all the temples. So he once went to Ranganath also, Sri Rangam. And there he found that there was a sadhu who was an illiterate, and he didn't knew anything. He was an illiterate from his childhood only. He never learned how to read. But he was seeing Bhagavad Gita, where the picture of Krishna and Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there on the chariot, and Krishna was like pulling the chariot, and Arjuna was sitting on the chariot, and he was just seeing that picture, and he was crying and crying and crying. So all the other people used to laugh at him because he was an illiterate sadhu. But when Mahaprabhu saw him, that he was just seeing Bhagavad Gita, he was holding that Bhagavad Gita, and he was crying and crying and crying. So Mahaprabhu went to him and he asked him, I know that you don't know how to read, but still you are holding this book, you are seeing the book, and you are crying. May I know what is making you cry? Sadhu told that yes, I am not able to read this book, but whenever I see this picture, I always, because my guru told me to read this book, although I am not able to read this book, but because my guru told, I am always seeing Bhagavad Gita, and I'm seeing this picture, and whenever I'm seeing this picture, I am always reminded of that how Krishna, although he is the most powerful, although he is the controller of everything, although he is the supreme personality of Godhead, although he can just create the entire universe in one moment or destroy the entire universe in one moment, but still he has become chariot driver of one of his devotees. How merciful is Krishna? And whenever I think this, automatically the tears start flowing. So when Mahaprabhu heard this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this, he told that you need not read this Bhagavad Gita because you have already understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You are already a devotee. And he just hugged him. So there is a lesson in this, that how Krishna is bhavagrahi, and he just sees the devotion in that person. Like although everything is important, But we should always see that whatever we are doing it with devotion, or we are just doing as etiquette? So in our first lesson also we had discussed this, that how okay, all the etiquettes are very important because they are facilitating us to reach Krishna, but at the same time they are important only till we are developing devotion, we are going closer to Krishna. They are important only till it is bringing purification in us. So we should always see that whatever we are doing, the goal should be to always remember Krishna, to always serve Krishna, and to never forget Krishna. So this is the essence of this purport. Okay, now we'll go to the next slide. Can someone read this? Okay, first of all, my voice is clear now.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's like still breaking, but it's not very clear. But still we are able to make out. Hare Krishna Mataji. A king is worshipped in his palace. The worship of Kannada should be performed in just the way that a king is worshipped in his palace. So in Vrindavana, there are many hundreds of temples wherein the deity is worshipped exactly like a king. In the Naradiya Purana, it is stated, if person stays in the Lord's temple even for a few moments, he can surely achieve the transcendental kingdom of God. Nectar of Devotion, chapter 9, rendering service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for that. So, whenever we go to a temple, what is the essence of this purport? That whenever we go to the temple, we should always understand that here the deities are the king of the palace. Like whenever, like if there is a palace and there is a king, whenever someone go to the palace, they know that whatever we have to do in caution, that there is a king and I'm responsible for whatever I'm doing and I should serve the king. Similarly, the temple is a palace and the deities are the king. And the deities are worshipped there. So we should be very, very careful whenever we go to the temple. At the same time, we should always have the mood to serve the deities. We should always have the mood to make it, to do the best possible service for the deities. Like deities should have the best cloth, deities should have the best talent, deities should have the best talents of worship, should have the best kirtan, we should deities. We should hear Krishna Katha, we should glorify the deities like that. So this is our general etiquette, that whenever we go to the temple, we don't think about how should I be served. We should always think about how the deity should be served. And we should always think that these deities are the owner and they are the king. And I should serve in the best possible way. Okay, now before going forward, I would just like to ask one question from you all, and I want you all to answer also. So whenever you go to temple, have anything happened that you may have felt that no, this is not a temple etiquette. This should not have been done like this, and it has affected you, and in what way it has affected you? Can anyone has such experience, and anyone wants to share? Is my question clear? Like experience when you have witnessed devotees behaving disruptively during a temple function. Any experience when you have noticed devotees behaving disruptively during a temple function? And what, how it affected you and what lesson you got out of it? And you have such experience, can raise hand and share. Or you can type in the chat box.
Mataji, I have seen one thing, that whenever we go in a temple, many a times people are fighting. I mean, they are fighting. They can't remain in the line. Everybody is cheating there. Some are going forward, cheating others, and like I think if you want to worship God, you should not do such kind of things. I mean, cheating other or fighting with others. So that is one thing which I feel that's better way we can stay at home and worship God.
So okay, so you felt bad. Yeah, this is uh, others. In fact, we should proper.
Ma'am, your voice is cracking,
Mataji,
ma'am.
we can't hear you.
I couldn't understand. Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, your voice is cracking.
Is it fine now?
No, Mataji.
It is not.
Mataji, your voice is still cracking.
I should have asked.
Mataji, your voice is still cracking.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Okay. No, I don't know what to do, but I'll just try.
Okay. Mataji, I
Yeah.
think when your video is off, the internet will not get pulled too much and it will be better.
Yeah. So I'll keep my video off.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. What I understand is that we should never push each other, because everyone wants to see the Lord only, right? Everyone wants to have darshan of the Lord. So, so your observation is that we should not fight with each other.
Yeah,
we should not pull
we
each other. We
should
should
have-
not gossip
yeah.
in the temple. Yes.
So my problem is that at that
Yeah,
time
we
your mindset you become angry, and then with that angry mindset you can't worship, you can't meditate there. And what the purpose for which we are going there, your mind should be calm, you should be calm. So I think that is
Yeah.
very big problem.
Sure. Yeah, one principle is that we should never push, but at the same time, it is like everyone wants to see Krishna, and the joy, the bliss of seeing Krishna is so much that everyone just are not able to resist. But yeah, this is the proper behavior, that we should not hurt one, because we are going to serve the Lord. We are going to see the Lord, so definitely we should not hurt anyone. Yeah, okay, so this point is good, that we should not push and yeah. Okay, some other point are also there. Special reservation for rich ones. That is apart from the temple etiquette. This is just like the one who has done more service. We just allow, because someone has come forward to do service for the Lord, so they have come forward to yeah, to expense for the Lord. So they sometimes they are given privilege, but it's not that. Temple is for everyone. People speak, that is very bad. People gossiping, then people busy taking selfies in temples. Yeah, this is never etiquette, because like when we go to a palace where king is there, we will not focus on these things. We will just focus that how the king should be respected, how we should do things so that king can be served. So the proper temple etiquette is our body, mind, and words to the service of the Lord. Okay, so you have some points which you think that is not good, and that has affected you, and you also feel that you should also not do all those things. That is good. So we will see more points how to behave nicely in the temple. While Aarti busy taking videos, yeah, these are not proper etiquettes. In fact, we should we should be standing in devotion Lord, that how I can serve you, and we should be feeling that the mercy is coming from the Lord rather than just taking selfies and yes, it's not a proper attitude. Okay, so in the nectar of devotion, there is a excerpt which says that in the Naradiya Puran there is a statement about going and offering respect to the deity. The person who has once offered respects, bowing down before the deity, will not come back to this world because he will go directly to the abode of Krishna. So here we have started with the first section of our session of our lesson, which is about the Pranam. So first we discussed how Krishna is Bhavagrahi and he sees the devotion in us, where whatever we are offering, we should always offer with love and devotion. So that in the temple we should offer Krishna rather than of thinking about our own. Now when it comes about serving Krishna and behaving in the temple properly, the first is what to do in the temple. So the first is the pranam. So whenever we go to the temple, we should offer obeisances to the Lord. And in the Naradiya Purana, it is mentioned that one who offers respects, one who will, because he will go directly to Krishna. Okay, so there are several pranam. First is Ashtang Pranam or Danvat Pranam. So I don't know how many of you know. Anyone know what does it mean when we say Danvat Pranam? You can type in the chat box. Or any one of the speaker, not many, but one can speak because they don't have that much time to frustrate completely. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, to start on. Yeah, very nice. You all know about what is Danvat Pranam. Falling like stick. Danvat is like stick straight. I know about what is Danvat. So Danvat Pranam is when we fall like a danda. Danda is a stick. Like as stick falls in the ground. Similarly, whenever we should see the Lord, like a stick in front of the Lord. Now, why it is known as Ashtanga Pranam? Because in this we offer our obeisances by using two legs, two hands, the head, the eyes, the mouth. All these things, these are the 8 limbs of the body. It's also important to understand that here the mind and the words also come. So our mood is also very important. So whenever we are going in front of the Lord and we are offering obeisances, obeisances is pranam. So when we are offering obeisances, always have a proper mood, always have a praise. So take a proper mood. So arms, knees, chest, head, eyes, mind. This is Ashtanga. Ashtanga is when of arm, chest, chest and legs.
Mataji, again your voice is cutting a lot. Hare Krishna Mataji. Again there is voice issue.
1 minute, I try.
Mataji, are you there, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is my voice better now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so first is Ashtanga Pranam, where we use arms, feet, knees, chest, head, eyes, and words. Mind and words are also there. And this Panchang Pranam, where we use arms, knees, head, mind, and words. So generally, females they offer Panchang Pranam only, and males they offer females. Like they are not generally told to offer Dandvat Pranam because there is a consideration, but they offer Panchang Pranams. And then third is the Pranam Mudra. So whenever there is a facility, whenever there is a possibility that we can offer Dandvat Pranam or Panchang Pranam, we should always do that. But sometimes whenever it is very crowded and we are not able to do that, then we just offer Pranam Mudra. So with Pranam Mudra also, we don't just offer Pranam. We don't just hold our hands and feet like this. We recite Pranam mantras. So reciting Pranam mantras are very, very important. So in front of the deities, whenever we go, first of all, we offer prayers, Pranam mantra for spiritual master. Then we offer for Srila Prabhupada, and then we offer for the deities. Like if we are going to the temple, there is Krishna deities. So there is Krishna Pranam mantra, which we also chanted during Mangalacharan. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta, like that. It is Pratani or Panchana Gauri Vaneshwari Brahmani Devi Pranamani. Plus there are other prayers so many prayers. Yeah, so we should also prayers. And like when we go into Jagannath Baldev there is a Pranam mantra like Nilacha Nivasaya Nitaya Baldrasbadaya Jagannathaya Denama.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, we can't hear, we can't understand anything, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Okay, I'll stop my video and yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we should always offer prayers whenever we are offering pranam. That is a general principle which we should follow. Now, what we should not do while offering obeisances. Is my voice clear?
Yes, Mataji, it's better now.
So, what are the transgressions to avoid whilst offering obeisances? First is we should, like we understood, right, that whenever we go to the temple, the first thing is to offer obeisances to the Lord. And there are three types of obeisances we learned. One is Ashtang Pranam, then Dandvat Pranam, which is Dandvat Pranam, Ashtang Pranam, Panchang Pranam, and Pranam Mudra. And we also read that how if we offer Dandvat, then if we offer Pranam, then what happens? We don't come again to this material world. We go to the Lord. So Pranam is very, very important. That is the first thing which we need to learn. Now we should also learn what are the etiquettes while offering Pranam. So first is that we should not offer obeisances when the Lord is resting. Now we will see that during afternoon or in the night, there is a shayan time when the Lord will sleep. That time we should not offer obeisances. Also, we should not circumambulate the Lord. So कहते हैं परिक्रमा. So we do parikrama, right? Pradakshina or parikrama or circumambulation. We should not do that time. Also, when the Lord is bathing or when the Lord is eating, like when there is offering, that time also we should not offer obeisances to the Lord. Same applies for the spiritual master also. We should not do that. Now, second is with only one hand. Like sometimes when we go to the temple, we have the chanting bag in our hand, and with one hand we are chanting, and with one hand we are offering pranam. We are offering obeisances. So that is very, very wrong. Like similarly, this can happen. Sometimes we have some flowers or some other things from the temple which we are holding in one hand, and then we try to offer obeisances through just one hand. So that is very, very wrong. Whatever we are having in our hand, we should keep it aside, and we should offer obeisances with both the hands. Or we should offer, like whenever we are offering Dandavat Pranam or Panchang Pranam also, both of our hands should be on the ground. It should, like sometimes we are offering obeisances, some people, they will keep their hands at their back. That is also very wrong. Both the hands should be on the floor, the knees should be on the floor, and the head should be on the floor. And those who are doing Dandavat Pranam, the chest and the eyes should also be in contact with the floor. And should not use only one hand. We should keep the things aside, and then we should offer the pranam. Now, third is wearing garments on upper portion of his body. So actually, there is a rule that while offering obeisances, one should not wear garments on upper portion. Even like in South India, in many of the temples, this is followed. Although in North India, it is not followed that much, but there is a rule. This applies only to the male. And but now we will see that many are offering obeisances with upper garment also. I will just get clear about it. But in the scriptures, there is a rule that wearing garment on upper part of the body is not proper while offering obeisances. Then fourth is that we should not offer obeisances and recite pranam mantra silently. Like we should not recite pranam mantra silently while offering obeisances. We should always recite pranam mantras loudly and clearly. That is very, very important. Like there is pranam mantras for all the deities. I don't know if everyone is aware of that. Maybe I will share with you later. Like whenever we offer obeisances to Tulsi Maharani, so we offer prayers also. Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. So when we offer obeisances, that time we offer the prayers, and that we don't offer silently. We should offer it aloud. We should offer it loudly. That is a rule. That is very, very important. Then is to the spiritual master in the presence of the deity. Like the general etiquette is that whenever we see a sannyasi, a three-dandi sannyasi, we offer obeisances immediately. And that is very, very strict. The rule is very, very strict for the spiritual master. Spiritual master is the guru whom we accept and we take instructions for advancing in our spiritual life. So whenever we see guru or any three-dandi sannyasi, immediately we should fall down and offer obeisances. But the rule is that if we are in the temple and our spiritual master or any three-dandi sannyasi is also in the temple, we don't offer them obeisances in front of the deity. We may offer them like sideways, like behind the deity or outside the temple. We can do that, but in front of the deity we don't do. Because the principle is always kept that even though we have accepted a guru, but guru is also servant of the Lord, and guru as an etiquette, he doesn't allow his disciples to offer respect in front of the deity because the deity is the supreme. We can see for Tulsi Puja also, whenever you will go to the temple and you will see that Tulsi Puja is going on, always the altar is closed, where that Radha Madhav altar or Jagannath Bali Subhadra's altar, all the altar of the deities is closed, and then only in front of that only Tulsi Puja is performed, because Tulsi is also one of the great devotees of the Lord. So this is the etiquette that in front of the deity, we don't offer obeisances to sannyasi or spiritual master. Then how we should offer obeisances? This is a question. Now, as a general rule, to whomever we are offering our pranam, obeisances, the head should be pointing towards that person, towards the deity. That is a general rule. So we offer straight pranam, but generally in Vishnu temples, opposite to the deity is Garuda, who is a great devotee of the Lord. Like in ISKCON temples, opposite to the deity is Srila Prabhupada. So now we don't, we can't even, we cannot show our legs to Garuda or Srila Prabhupada or any of the acharyas or any of the deities also. That is an offense. So what is recommended? That we offer our obeisances from the left side, because left side lies our heart. So we offer obeisances from the heart. This is also mentioned in our scriptures, that we offer our obeisances from the left side. Generally, we should offer it with the head towards the deity or the person whom we are offering obeisances. But if opposite, there is Srila Prabhupada or Garuda or some senior Vaishnavas or deity, then we cannot disrespect by showing them leg. So we offer from the left side. So these are the rules which we need to follow while offering obeisances. So there is a very beautiful line written in Hari Bhakti Sushodaya. When a devotee falls down to the ground to offer obeisances to Vishnu, all the sins in his body also fall down and becomes destroyed. When he gets up, he becomes free from all sins. This is so very beautiful line, right? That when we fall down in front of the Lord to offer obeisances, all our sins also go away. And when we get up, we become free from all the sins. Actually, one incident happened, one pastime happened when Srila Prabhupada was away. So one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada went to him, and he told him that I don't feel like offering obeisances. Like there is a rule, right? Whenever we see a sannyasi or spiritual master and deity, deities, we all know about deities, but also spiritual master and sannyasis, we should just fall straight. We should just fall and offer obeisances immediately. So when disciple of Srila Prabhupada told that I don't feel like offering obeisances. So what Srila Prabhupada told in reply is that even if you don't feel, you just do it for the sake of doing. And gradually you will feel like doing. So the point is that in Krishna consciousness, we don't do things which we like or we don't like. We do things which are right. We do things which are good for us. So the principle is that whenever we see deities, even in the road, so for example, if Rath Yatra is going on, or if some deities are going on the procession, whenever we see the procession, we should immediately bow down. We should immediately get to our knees and we should bow down. This is the rule. Even if it is road, even if it is not temple, wherever it is, we should just bow down. This is the rule. So although we may not like doing it everywhere or all the times, but still we should do it because this is the principle, and this is for our benefit only. So Srila Prabhupada's instruction was, even if you don't feel, you still do it. And in Bhagavad Gita also, there is a verse which is a very famous verse, and it is a 1 minute. Yeah, so there is a verse in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 65th verse, which states that 1 minute. Man mana bhagavad bhakta mad yaji mam namaskuru mam eva shise satyam te prati jano priyosmi me. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So Krishna says that you always think of me. Become my devotee. If you're not able to become my devotee, worship me. If you're not able to worship me also, at least offer homages to me. So that is very, very important to offer homage to Krishna, to offer dhanvat to Krishna. So in our one of the prayers, Shad Goswami Ashtakam, there are lines which says that Namagana Sankhya Purvak Namagana Natibi. So Nam Gana Natibi. Natibi is paying obeisances should be always Sankhya Purvak. So we should have fixed number of rounds of chanting. So in Sankhya Purvak Nam Gana, we should have some fixed number of prayers that every day I will do these prayers. I will do Mangalarti or Narsimha Aarti like that. And we should have fixed number of obeisances. Like every day I will do 4 times. I will pay 4 times, 3 times obeisances to the Lord. Every day I'll offer 5 times obeisances to the Lord. So these things should be done Sankhya Purvak. That is very, very important. In fact, in our scriptures, there is an injunction that if we, whenever we see a deity or a three-dandi sannyasi, we should offer obeisances. If we are not able to do it, then we have to do pashyata. We have to do prashchit. And what is the prashchit? We should fast for 1 day. So this is very, very important. But at the same time, whenever we are doing pranam, we should always chant pranam mantras, and we should always do with love and devotion. Because this is what Krishna takes. Krishna is bhavagrahi. And he takes our bhava. Whatever we are doing, we should do with bhava. Okay, so I stop here because already the time is up. Till here, if anyone has any doubt or anything to share, can share. You can type in the chat box or you can raise your hand and ask. The other sections we will try to cover in the next class because it is already 8 and we had little disturbed internet connection.
Mataji, only in first verse you said there were 2 words. One was wrong and the other was correct. I couldn't heard at the time. The voice was not clear. So, which is the correct word and which is the wrong word which we are pronouncing, which should not be pronounced?
It was written Vishnai. Someone, it is Vishnave.
Achha, it is Vishnave and it is pronounced like Vishnave. Vishnave.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
How many times are we supposed to give obeisances? Actually, it is recommended that at least we should give 3 times. There is a verse in Guru Ashtakam. It states like Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado Yasya prasadana gati kutayopi dhayan stomam stasya shastri sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. So it states that it is only by the mercy of Guru that we are able to do devotional service. If there is no mercy, we can do nothing. So at least we should offer 3 times obeisances to the Guru. So it is mentioned like that. So at least we should offer 3 times. Like 1 we can offer when we wake up, 1 while doing puja, and 1 while when we are going to sleep, or whenever we come home, we can offer obeisances like that. We can, but it should be according to number fixed. It should be a fixed number. This is recommended. Okay. Mataji, how do we know Lord is resting, sleeping, or eating when we are at home? At home, we need not do, Prabhuji. When we are in the temple, we know it because we don't have deities no, at home. If we have deities, we are following the proper deity standards, then we have to do at home also. But at home, we will offer bhoga to Krishna, right? Morning, afternoon, night, all the time. Whenever we are cooking, we offer bhoga to Krishna. So that is the time when Krishna is eating. Also, we make Krishna sleep at night. So that time. But generally, these standards are followed in the temple. So these are standards for the temple, not at home.
Mataji, say while offering dandavats, if we have japa bag, right? So if we hold the japa bag then in the palm and then we do the dandavats, is that okay, or is that also not allowed?
No, Prabhuji, actually, first thing is that the japa bag should also not come in contact with the ground. Because that japa bag is spiritual. Now, also the rule is that both of our we should never offer obeisances with only one hand. So sometimes people will follow that they will hold the japa bag with one hand, another hand it will be on the ground. But actually, this is also not allowed. Whatever is there, we should keep it aside and then we should offer obeisances. Or sometimes also, like what is practiced that they will keep the japa bag on their back and then offer obeisances. Like that, it can be done. But japa bag should not touch the floor and both the hands should be used while offering. We should not offer with one hand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is there no attendance? How will the certificates be issued? Certificates will be issued, Prabhuji. Attendance is not there, but this is like a learning course. This is the etiquette course, so it is getting recorded. You need not worry about it. Yes, someone insists.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, if we are in middle of the round and we have to offer obeisance, then should we keep our hand in the japa bag? Is that allowed? Like keeping hand in the japa bag and offering obeisance?
Prabhuji, actually, these are the details, but generally, we cannot just use one hand. That time we have to leave that japa and we just have to offer obeisances.
Okay, and Mataji, if we don't know the pranam mantra, then like we can offer obeisance even if like if we don't know the if I don't know the pranam mantra, is it okay if I just offer obeisance?
Yeah, actually, see, the best is to know the pranam mantra, but it is also said that the best pranam mantra is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if I don't know the pranam mantra, I will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I will chant Panchatattva pranam mantra. Panchatattva pranam mantra, you know, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Jai Shri
I know
Krishna
that.
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Yeah. So at least we should offer Panchatattva pranam mantra and Hare Krishna Mahamantra and offer. But like because whenever we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is a prayer only. That, oh energy of Krishna, please engage me in Krishna's service. So that is the best possible prayer we can do to the Lord. So if we don't remember, it is very good actually to remember pranam mantras. But if in case we are not remembering, then we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra is way more powerful. It is very, very powerful, and that Krishna likes very much.
Okay, Mataji. I don't know Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji's pranam mantra fully. Krishna's I know, Radharani's I know.
For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we just offered Panchatattva Pranam Mantra, Prabhuji. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta. There are other prayers also, but even if we offer this, Mahaprabhu accepts it very nicely.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
The recording is available, Mataji, in the YouTube. It is there. Whatever we are doing session, it is getting recorded in YouTube.
Hello, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, when we go to other temples other than Mahavishnu temple, because everywhere we may not have Mahavishnu temples. So when we go to Shiva temple or Rama temple, So can we use Sri Krishna Mahamantra when we are giving obeisances? Sashtanga Namaskara.
Yeah, if we are going to Rama temple, then all the Dashavatara, they are ultimately Krishna only, right? Like all the Vishnu Tattvas, we can offer Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In fact, for if we are going to Shiva temple, there also we can offer Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because in Shiva Puran only, when Parvati Ma asks Shivji that whom I should offer prayers, then Shivji tells that Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhananam Param. So he tells that out of all the worshipable entities, the best is to worship Vishnu. So in fact, Shivji has given, there are instructions of Shiva in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 also, where he mentions that we should how we should always meditate on Krishna. So there we can pray to Shiva that how as he is such a great devotee of Krishna, we can also, by his mercy, we can also serve Krishna like him. Like that we can pray.
Okay, Mataji. And Mataji, if possible, can you please show how to hold the Japa Mala and how to chant Mahamantra? Because I have started chanting and I'm holding Mahamantra Japa Mala in right hand and keeping a bag in my lap and doing it, but I am not sure whether it is correct way of doing or not. And many of us like me have some doubts in mind, and keeping doubts in mind and doing this will not give proper results.
Okay, Prabhuji, I can show you 1 minute. So like this is my chanting bag. This is the mala. So the first bead is known as Sumeru bead, which we don't count. Okay? And this finger we don't use while doing chanting japa. So what we do is we will just put this finger out, and then we will chant with like this. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. We will first chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasati Gaur Bhakti Panchatattva Pranaman. And this we don't count in this japa. Then, and this we will not take. So from here, from this beat onwards, we will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like this, we will go through the entire mala, Japa mala. And it is like, we just do like this. We just hold this and we do. We continue doing like this. We just hold.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had a question. Now at home, when you are worshipping, is there a specific time within which we have to worship Krishna?
Mataji, you can worship Krishna anytime, Mataji. But generally, there are 4 aartis which we perform. Like one is Mangala Aarti, then there is Darshana Aarti, then there is Sandhya Aarti, and then Shayana Aarti. And also Bhoga Aarti. But if we are not able to do so much, at least we should do with the morning Aarti. And if you are able to do Sandhya Aarti, that is also fine. But at least we should do one-time Aarti. And also we should offer to the Lord whatever we are going to have. We should offer it to Krishna as Bhoga, and then we should accept the remnants as prasad.
Yeah. Yes, because sometimes my puja gets late. It becomes sometimes 12:30 or 1 also. Is it okay?
No, it doesn't matter, Mataji. Do you have deities at home? If you don't have deities?
Yes, Bal Gopal. I've got Laddu Gopal, Mataji.
Okay, Pran Pratishtha is done for the deity.
Yes, Mataji. I do Abhishek and all that.
Okay, then better if you offer 3 times, Mataji. Better if you offer 3 times. Actually, the principle is to offer 5 times. For Gaur-Nitai is very, very merciful Lord. In fact, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra also. But for Krishna, there are rules. So yeah.
I do it only once, Mataji, morning, but the time becomes a little uncertain. Is it wrong? It's an offense?
No, it is not offense. You just
Laddu Gopal, I worship that Bal Gopal, the crawling Gopal, I think your voice is not clear, Mataji.
Mataji, no, you're frozen. Hare Krishna.
yeah, I have switched on my video.
Mataji can't hear you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Your voice I'm not able to hear.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I
Hare-
suppose Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, can we take on these questions for next week on
Yes,
Friday?
Mataji.
Because
Yes,
I think
Mataji.
our connection is really bad.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
maybe we'll take up all your questions, whatever they are, please keep them on the side.
Yeah.
And we'll take all these questions up next week.
Certainly, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
So, 1 second.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Kripa Sindhu Charpati Dinan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavi Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll meet next week, 7 o'clock, Friday. Please do come with your questions.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.